Holy cow, I am finally reviewing the Mitchells versus the Machines. Yeah, I remember I first started talking about this movie back when it was called Connected, and then the movie got pushed back due to the coronavirus, and then it came out, and I didn't really get around to reviewing it until now. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here. So I am finally taking a look at the Mitchells versus the Machines. I remember back when this movie came out, there was a lot of love for this film on social media, and guess what? I totally agree. By the time this movie was over, it was so good. I honestly didn't even know where to begin. It was a very fast-paced but still very fun adventure with a lot of heartfelt moments, and I'm really glad I finally got to see the movie. So what in the heck is this movie about? So The Mitchells versus the Machines stars this character, Katie Mitchell, who's about to go to the film school of her dreams, but her family wants to take her there through this cross-country road trip. But those plans get derailed due to a robot uprising. So let's go ahead and talk about what I enjoyed about the Mitchells versus the Machines. The thing you're going to notice throughout most of the runtime of this movie is the pacing. It is like a very fast-paced movie that it's done in a way for viewers to get to enjoy the action and have a lot of fun. And it's still done really well. It's still done in a way where it's able to get the story across, and it does have its times to slow down for the more heartfelt moments, especially for the scenes involving the more dramatic scenes with the family. I'll admit there were a couple times in the movie where it got to a point where I had to stop the movie and ask myself, wait, what exactly happened? Like something that I kind of forgot was that the family had a way to use this kill code in order to stop this tech uprising, so I had to back up again. But most of the movie is still very understandable, and the story still gets its point across. I also really like how the movie mixes animation styles. Even though it is a CG movie, it still has moments where it mixes some traditional style, especially the character Katie. Like if she's expressing like a really enthusiastic emotion, like if she's really happy or if she's really frustrated with something, you'll see with Katie there'll be like a heart comes out of her, or like you'll see sparks come from her, or if she's doing something epic, sometimes the backgrounds and text will be done in a more traditional style. So I really like how the movie mixes different animation styles. I remember reading up on this film saying one of the other things they did was that if the human characters are done in a more kind of creative but unrefined sort of way, to give it a more natural look compared to the much more pristine look of the robots. So I thought that was a really clever technique as well. And the movie does have a handful of laughs as well. I especially like the comedic scenes, like when the family starts off their road trip and things don't go so well. Like there's a scene where they go to this sketchy diner and the food really stinks, and they all go on this journey on a bunch of mules, like this hike where they ride a bunch of mules, but it ends up in a really epic storm. And the film is also sprinkled with some pretty good jokes too. Like for instance, the robots are unable to identify what kind of animal the Mitchell's dog Munchie is, and they're like, oh, is it, a dog, or is it a loaf of bread? And it causes their heads to spark and spin and go out of control. So I thought that was really funny too. It actually plays a surprisingly big but funny part of the ending of the film, which I won't spoil in this review. Another one of my favorite jokes involving the robots is when we're seeing what their evil plan is. Their plan is they want to remove all the humans on Earth and just take over the population. And one of the jokes that really got me as somebody who's really into computers is there's a scene where they're checking out this art gallery and the paintings are in source code, with ones and zeros. And I'm just like, no, who would want to go to an art gallery that's just filled with source code? So the movie does have a handful of good laughs in there. I also really like the movie's commentary on social media and technology. One of the bad habits I do myself is sometimes, like when I go on Facebook and Instagram, I'll see a picture from like a former college classmate who seems to be doing a lot better than me, and I end up comparing myself. And that's something that Katie's mom does quite a bit in this movie, comparing herself to the seemingly perfect family called the Posies. But the movie also doesn't make it into a black and white issue. And one of the strongest scenes in the film regarding this commentary comes at the end, where Eric Andre's character watches YouTube videos, specifically Katie's YouTube videos, to cheer himself up. And without being too specific, it helps her dad realize a major lesson. But without a doubt, my favorite aspect of The Mitchells and the Machines were its characters. I know this movie was advertised as a film that was directed by Gravity Falls alum Mike Rianda and produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. And like a lot of Lord and Miller's movies, the characters are very funny, but they're also very, very sympathetic. I was actually surprised how much I related to Katie as somebody that makes a lot of videos in my own home and also has done a lot of photography projects on my own. So I related a lot to her story and how that she grew up making a lot of her movies at home, and she learned to continuously improve her craft, and how it took her a while in order to find people that she could really relate to. When she was a little kid going into school, well, like all the students would just laugh off her work, but it wasn't until college where she was able to find some good friends. And I related a lot to how the only family member she has that really understands her a lot was her brother. Even though her brother has different interests in dinosaurs, they still share, a lot of camaraderie and really help each other out and emotionally support each other in the movie. And so even though this is a movie that deals with family tensions, the father character, Rick, played by Danny McBride, is also a very understandable character. Even though he doesn't understand why Katie wants to get into filmmaking, and he's concerned that she's not going to make a good living out of it, we see that he is mostly just concerned with if Katie is going to be safe out there in the world and just wants to make sure that she's okay. There's actually a really surprising backstory involving Rick that plays a lot into the climax of the movie, which I don't dare give away. I didn't see it coming, and I was genuinely surprised. Like, I would say, I think I was just as surprised as Katie in the film when I saw how much a certain scene meant to Rick. So if you want to find out what I'm talking about, you're gonna have to check out the movie, because I do not dare spoil it. And I also really like how they made the mother character the kind of character who I get the sense that she doesn't fully understand Katie's interest in filmmaking, but she still tries her best to show support. And as the YouTube algorithm keeps pointing out, the mom does go kind of crazy with kicking some robot ass toward the end of the movie, and I'll just leave it at that. So I really like the family characters in the movie. And also, just like how Katie's brother tries to, emotionally support her, I also like how, the mother is very complimentary to the dad, and that she's the person who tries to help, Rick, form a good relationship with his daughter. I even like how they make the motivations of the characters behind the robot and tech uprising really understandable. Especially Pal, who's basically the evil Siri/HAL 9000 character of the movie. I really like how the movie took its time for us to understand why she started this uprising, and even her relationship with her inventor, Eric Andre's character, Mark. I thought that was really great, and in a sense, it made because her emotions were very understandable, in a way, it helps make her a more threatening character because it makes her more tangible. And I even like how sympathetic Mark is, and I felt really bad that he blamed himself for much of the robot uprising. So I really like how they make the characters on both sides very sympathetic and understandable. That's been my review of The Mitchells versus the Machines. Even though there were times in the movie I felt got a little too fast and hectic, it's still a whole bunch of fun and is one of the best animated films I've seen this year. So I highly recommend the movie. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you seen The Mitchells versus the Machines? I know that lots of people who watch this channel are very enthusiastic for the movie, so I'm really curious to hear your own opinion of the film down below. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, are you interested in checking it out? Leave all those thoughts down below, and until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.